I've been waiting for you. I'm pretending.
Yeah.
And that's all I can
The
do.
dulcet
That's all I
tones
could do, mama.
of who knows what this is.
Ain't making it through to your heart.
Toddy. God almighty, it's the Triple Option Podcast coming to you from Cigar City Studios Sunday morning on the Labor Day weekend. We should have done this Monday. We just figured this out. I'm your host, Law Smith. Sitting here with me is Mr. Sweetums himself, Chad Sweeting.
Good morning.
How you feeling?
Feeling great, man. Feeling great. I had a fantasy
Sure.
football draft last night. The Gators got drubbed. The offense is terrible, but in spite of that, I feel good. I feel great.
Well, look, we're gonna get into that. I'm already pissed off from yesterday. Not about college football, but how to watch it. I've got a rant I need to go on for a minute.
Nice.
But before we get into that, we're
love to
gonna
hear
do
it.
our sponsor. You have a business. You're a business owner,
I'm a business owner. Yes,
right?
I am.
So you need your own business phone line, right?
Oh,
because you're
absolutely.
just a jabroni if everything's on your personal line and you sign up for your LLC and everything's linked back to that, you're going to get a bunch of spam calls. So
Yep.
our sponsor is Grasshopper phone. It's the entrepreneurs.
Tricky word.
I mumble my R's if there's too many R's in a word. I need to go to like more commercial acting classes like, hi, everybody. Like, hi, everybody.
Please don't. I'll quit this podcast if you start sounding like that.
No, but I mean, like, I just mumble too much. I got a small mouth, man. It's tough. Anyway, I'm sure Grasshopper loves this copy. There's nothing in front of me.
Okay.
There's people that can see us on Facebook Live right now. There's a laptop open, but there ain't nothing going on. All right, Grasshopper, it's awesome. Our listeners get $50 off. I forgot to make the promo code for this podcast, but we're going to use the promo code from our other podcast, Sweat Equity, that's done in this office. Similar podcast, man. One's about hustle and business. This one's about college football and hustle. So, Grasshopper, we're switching over to it right now. We're going to migrate over. My big thing is, if you're trying to do your own business, you're trying to do your own podcast that you want call in, and you need a scalable one, you can add lines onto it, and it doesn't cost that much. A lot of people do the thing where they go, well, I got Sprint. I'll just add another Sprint line to your phone. Not that good, because with Grasshopper, you can have other people on your team see texts coming in, see calls coming in. We do that right here. It's actually beneficial because I can copy and paste a lot of notes. People text you stuff like it's legit.
Yeah.
Like you're in the legal area. Like people probably text you legal, like you're waiting for stuff from them. I don't know, maybe not. But I know I get a lot of stuff that way. So go to trygrasshopper.com/sweat to get $50 off. That's trygrasshopper.com/sweat. Look, and I've looked at a lot of these. It's the same. It's about the same rate as the other ones, but better quality. Because we have one right now. If I'm not on Wi-Fi, I can't really use it. So that's a pain in the dick. Grasshopper, you can go right back to your LTE or whatever, your Boost Mobile, your dumb phone, whatever it is. All right, so. Steve's not with us today. There's a mic sitting on the ground for him as he's on vacation. We'll talk shit about him later, I'm pretty sure. He's probably watching because he can't vacation very well.
No, we figured that out.
I'm not good at it either. I can go 3-4 days, but then I feel like I got to do something. I get anxious and but 3-4 days I'm reset. Like I can't. There's no more like laying down I can do.
Yeah.
Because maybe we're both motivated, as is he. So maybe you're just like, I got to keep doing shit. I'm sure Elon Musk is like the worst guy to hang out with on vacation if he ever takes one.
Yeah, you're supposed to talk about business all the time, probably.
Right. But business is fun to me. I don't know.
Yeah. Definitely can be.
You're like, yeah, whatever. I would drink a lot of margaritas for a week, but okay. All right. So I always try to lead off the show was something that's more for the fans than about the X's and O's of the game. The games that went on yesterday, and I try to rant. I'll keep this under 45 minutes probably, but
I'm gonna cut you off before that. Don't worry.
I'll keep it short. But we got a real problem with trying to watch football now. I realized this yesterday, big time.
Ooh, is this gonna be like an old man like yelling at the clouds type rant? I love it.
It could be, yeah.
Okay, I love it.
Because I'm 33, I'm right in between kind of both eras a little bit. And I'm a nerd. I know all the nerd tech stuff, but I have the disposition of a really pissed off old man. Mm-hmm. So I'm like Blade. I can go in between both worlds.
Ooh, I like that analogy. Yeah.
So I got Sling TV because we cut cable because it's like, why do we need it? We don't like, I think 90% of the channels we had on cable. And I honestly, most of it, I just don't like the guy coming over. I don't like waiting. I'm not going to do the hacky bit all comedians have done about you wait for the guy for 8 hours, you can come in between this time and this time. Save that for the cruise ship comedian you're going to see. But I will say, I was like, okay, I'm fired up. Sling TV. It's got NFL Red Zone. It's got SEC Network. It's got all ESPN channels. And then I thought it had all the network channels. So if you pay for this orange and blue package, it's $40 a month. It's another $5 for a cloud DVR. It's another $5 for the sports package. They get you Red Zone and stuff. Okay, so we're talking $50. Then I can cancel it once the season's over. Boom, 4 months of that, fine. And then I thought the Florida game yesterday was on CBS.
ABC.
Well, someone told me CBS. Or I just thought it was CBS.
Yeah,
anyway,
you wouldn't be too far off. SEC games are a lot of times on CBS.
So I'm going to need CBS.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. The biggest games of the week, one of them is on that 3:30 CBS. They got that down pat, right? So Sling doesn't have CBS. This is an issue, right? This is a big one. CBS, apparently, I did some research. CBS is being very cunty about, we'll never get picked up by them, but CBS is being very cunty.
We just burn the bridges with one of the biggest networks in America.
Whatever, man. So I'm like, CBS thinks their shit doesn't stink. They think they're so badass that they didn't want to be on any streaming platforms last year. So now this year, you got to do CBS All Access. Then I was like, man, fuck. I don't want to keep adding these just ancillary channels. I only want it for that, really. Right. So I kept looking, and I'll put it out to y'all. I put it out to y'all, the listeners, whoever's watching. If you got a better way of doing this to watch college football, let me know, because here's what I was looking at. YouTube TV, I might do that instead of Sling TV, because YouTube TV made deals with all the networks. Now, I don't know if they've got the opportunity for the SEC network. And here's another thing. Sling TV, it pauses all the time. If your internet's not hardlined, I think, to your Apple TV, and you don't have
what do you mean pause? Like it stutters?
Yeah. It streams. Look, if it's on a laptop, it probably streams really well. I haven't sat down with my laptop or iPad doing it, but I don't want to do that. I want to watch it on my 60-inch 4K TV, right? Right. So I'm gonna try to get a Wi-Fi extender like we have right there, the Apple one, and see if I can put it up and make that happen. But I read online everybody has issues with this. So if YouTube TV is better than this, here's another one I found. Fubo. I thought it was Fubu. I thought it was
Forest
Fubu.
Bias? I was back in the 90s.
Who greenlit that name? I was like, Fubu, because it's Fubo.
That's real close to Fubu.
Why would you do that? That is specifically, that's they went, okay, we're going to be like Sling, but only for sports. It's just for that. All these cost about the same. They're all going to hover around $50 a month when you're done with it. But
can I ask you real quick before you go much further? What about just getting over the air broadcast, with a tuner?
The antenna?
Yeah, with the antenna.
So I've done that before. Actually, that's when I used to live next to Steve Fantetti, in Ybor, right down the street. We're here right now. I tried that with an HD antenna. Those are $40. They're called a Leaf. They're fine. The problem is you need to have the antenna stuck to a window, essentially. And where our TV is at, you'd have to run a wire, basically.
So you weren't getting a good signal?
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't there, and I can't at the house I have now. So those are good for what they are. If we need it in here, fine, no problem, because there's a window right there, and
Yeah.
it's 8 feet away from the TV. But you know, that also had spotty signal too when I got it working in
Yeah.
I moved it to our bedroom. I moved it in here, I think, at one point, and it just those are okay. Those get the job done. Like,
Yeah.
if you're super broke and you're just like, fine, I'll watch Fox, NBC, CBS, ABC. I'm good with that. That works fine.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing was I was freaking out because ABC is not on Sling either.
Okay.
Turns out if you have the Watch ESPN app, you can watch any ABC broadcasts. So I had like a mini panic attack. Like, no, man, I can't. CBS is like $6.99 a month to have access.
Really?
And I bought it. And then,
what if they are?
then
Like
I found
HBO Go or something? Like HBO Now? That's what I think they are.
Yeah, it's just like that. You
That's
just
like $12 a month, I think, for HBO.
If you do it, it depends who you do it through.
Yeah.
On one thing it's 20, and then if you go through like Sling, it'll be like $10.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. I don't know how this pricing is all kind of all over the place, but I do have something for the people that don't want to do any of this shit and still like to find the illegal streams. I got you hooked up, haha. Because I used to do this all the time with the NFL season package, until I really just hunkered down on Red Zone.
Uh-huh.
I used to find all the illegal feeds and send them out to our fantasy league and all that stuff. So
Okay, well, before you go further again, let me do a little disclosure here.
This is a comedy podcast?
As an officer of the court, I do not condone this. Okay, it's illegal. Okay, go ahead.
this is a comedy podcast. So this is all in jest. If the punchlines don't hit, that's not my fault, right?
It's a joke. We're joking
Right,
here.
exactly.
We don't condone any of this illegal activity. It's all alleged illegal activity.
I'll put the
There we go.
link on our. Actually, let's do this. Let's incentivize people. I'll send you this joke link.
Okay.
We will send you this joke link if you message our Facebook page,
There you go.
Twitter account, or let's see, or you share this with a friend. Share this, just share it on Facebook. How about that? Or subscribe on our YouTube channel. Message us that way.
Okay.
We want more engagement. I want people to talk shit on our comment on the comments of this Facebook Live.
Preferably about Steve. That's what I would prefer.
Talk shit about
Yeah,
Steve.
it's easy to do. I do it all the time. Like Steve sucks.
He's
There
a
it is.
slow
Yeah.
wide receiver. They're the worst. So I'll send you this link. I like incentives. I've been listening to a lot of economy podcasts, economics podcasts. It's everything is incentives. It's all about someone. Oh, I got a fat head from my boy Sam. Vegas moms. We used to pound him in Auburn. I can see him pop up over here.
What does that mean?
Take the nastiest liquors that you think are good in college, and then mix them together and put some cherry on it, and that was a Vegas bomb. I think
Oh,
it had
okay.
Jaeger in it and stuff. Anyway, so old buddy, glad you're watching. I hate your guts. All right, let's get into it.
All right, let's do
Rant
it.
over. What do we got? How you feel? You feel hungover? Your UF Gators.
It's brutal, man. It's brutal.
So they looked. I mean, look, man. I slacked you yesterday. I was like, hey, the defense was inspiring almost. Like I was like, they might be able to hold this on because Michigan looked like shit. 2 pick sixes, right?
Yeah, in the first half, it looked good at the beginning.
I want to say block punt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Block punt.
And I believe the stat when I was in high school, one of my coaches, actually, I think it was Jay Feely, the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
He coached our team once. It was, Yeah. And then he went to play in the pros. It's kind of strange. But he did drop some special team stats, and I think like you're 95% to win a game if you block a punt or something like that. Yeah.
That doesn't sound right, but okay.
Yeah, sure
It's
it
Jay
does.
Feely, man. It's Jay Feely. Like,
No,
I believe it.
It could have been now Plant High School coach Robert Wiener. I can't remember, but they one of those two threw out that stat. Oh, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
Well, sure.
Because it's such a game changer.
Yeah.
Usually. But
And they're pretty rare. They're fairly
usually
rare.
the other team.
A team might block one punt per year, maybe.
Usually, when
So-
you block a punt, you might have an okay offense to hold it down afterward. Tell me about how you're feeling. Are you on suicide watch? What's going on?
No, okay, so obviously we had 10. I say we. I don't play for Florida. My alma mater, Florida, had.
Don't correct yourself. This is college
we.
football.
I'm the head coach of Florida. Okay.
No, fuck it. No. For real. Don't feel weird about using possessive. I feel weird using possessive when I say, "Oh, we're pregnant."
Yeah.
Like, she's doing all the work.
So,
I say Mona's pregnant.
We're breaking this now. Oh, I thought you said we pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I thought you were telling me right now that you're pregnant.
I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. Yeah.
You're breaking the news now. Okay, now I'm a little sad because you're saying it's you and your wife.
I'm just saying
anyway.
don't college football is as close to soccer hooligan fandom as it gets, and I think using we perfectly.
Okay,
fine.
you know what? I'm gonna agree. Let me go on. Let me go on a little mini rant here too, because I feel like people are like, oh, whatever, it's just a game. Who cares? But you have to invest emotionally in this game in order for it to be fun. If you're like, whatever, I don't care at all, then why are you watching the game? You know, it's okay. I understand it's just a game. I understand and there's definitely a line to be crossed because some people will watch a game like. You know, some of my friends are Florida State fans, and they'll watch a game. If Florida State loses, they will be pissed off for like a week, or they like curse at their family members for a week. And now that's crossing a line. But it's okay to be a little sad about it, you know. But then you just get over it and get on with your life. But you have to invest emotionally a little bit in order for it to be fun.
Right.
So yes, I invested emotionally a little bit, but let me go back to how I feel about this. You know, on the whole. It's I'm trying to like put a nice a positive spin on this because we had 10 players that were suspended. I got several jokes probably from you two. My phone was blowing up yesterday with, oh, is Florida going to be able to field a team? I think I heard that from about 30 people yesterday. So obviously we had a lot of people suspended, and the positive spin on that is and a big if here, if Florida can get their shit together and put together, you know, a couple wins in a row. The voters might look on this a little more favorably than if they had a full strength squad because, you know, obviously like 10% of our squad is suspended, so they're going to think, okay, number one wide receiver, Antonio Callaway's out, number one running back, Scarlett's out. We had redshirt freshman starting had never taken a college snap before, and we managed to put up a fight for the first half. You know, we were ahead 17-14 at the half. I mean, it looked good. It looked good that the offense marched down the field, first possession, scored a field goal. Did nothing else for the rest of the game. But Michigan, that poor Michigan's that field goal kicker, man, he kicked 7 field goals. He missed 2, but he hit. I mean, this guy his leg must have been tired with all the kickoffs and field goals. So defense looked great. And towards the end, they got tired, obviously. But
special teams
special teams looked good.
Yeah, I mean, look, a
offense anemic offense, man. And I don't know if you know this, but Florida has been out of 128. Division I FBS, we're going to call it college football teams. Florida has been the bottom 10, not the bottom 10%, the bottom 10, I think.
Of
like
120?
About 128. That's 130 now because, you know, UBA came back. It's 130 now, but 128 the past couple of years.
That's stupid.
Bottom 10, man. And it's been bad. Not just bad, but like legendarily bad, like worst in Florida history. So doesn't look much better.
It's like Swamp Donkey's really bringing that Colorado State magic over.
I don't know, man. I don't know what it is.
What about Zaire, man?
Zaire didn't look great. He had a noodle arm. He's underthrowing people, overthrowing people. I don't know, man. I'm waiting for Matt Corral, man. We had that 5-star from California. He's coming in next year. I'm just waiting for him to save us. So, anyway, that's my rant on Florida. It didn't look great. The good news is I was doing a fantasy football draft with some of my friends from high school, and that was fun while I was watching the game. So I had fun with that. But yeah, it was pretty bad. So there you go.
You had your fantasy football draft while watching the game?
Yeah, obviously not a lot of Florida fans. A lot of Florida State fans. That's why they scheduled it towards that time. So
were you sober enough to watch the FSU Alabama game?
No, let's make this clear. Like I'm hungover today, not from alcohol, from sadness. I'm on a sadness hangover today. But yeah, I did watch that game. Florida State looked same thing. I mean, Florida State looked good coming out at the beginning, but Alabama, man, just we said it last week, 5-star after 5-star after 5-star, replacing all those that defensive front. And it was just too much for USF. They could not move the ball. I mean, Francois did what he could, but I mean, what do you think about that game?
Shout out to Francois's man bun.
You're a fan of the man bun. I've seen you rock a man bun before.
Well, now I'm used to it because I get a lot of shit for it, but I don't care because Japanese, warriors used to have it.
Yeah,
sure.
Samurai.
Sure. Tom Cruise. In that movie.
And you and Tom Cruise, sometimes I can't tell the difference between you two,
well, we're both Scientologists. So,
you are. Yeah. Shout out to Scientology.
Shout out Scientology.
Have headquarters in Clearwater, Florida. What's up, Scientology?
But, and they're a huge building over there. In a cigar
and
factory.
they're watching us as we speak. So.
I don't care. They watch us, but they're cool. They're chill.
Yeah.
I would say, that man bun is pretty solid. I only do it a lot now, and now I forget I have it on. Like, when you have a baby, you just don't shower that much, one. And then two, he'll pull your hair, and he's got a grip like he's been rock climbing as a baby his whole life or something. Mm-hmm. So most of the time, I would prefer not to. What's the point of having long hair if you have to put it in a man bun 90% of the time? But my lady likes it, so I'm keeping it. So that man bun was rough, because here's the deal, when he's coming out of the game, or he threw that pick, I want to say fourth quarter with about 7 minutes left before he got injured, this drive before that. He's on the sideline getting the ass chewed out by Jimbo Fisher in a very passive aggressive way, it looked like. It wasn't like yelling, I think. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was pretty passive aggressive kind of yelling.
Yeah.
And he just had that blonde man bun poof. And it reminded me of I'm rough and tough with my Afro puffs from the 90s.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Who was that? Rage? What was her name?
Yeah.
Well, we have Google right here. I'm looking this up.
MC Light? I don't know.
Let's see.
DeBrat? So I thought, man, it sucks being in the SEC West as an Auburn fan.
Lady of Rage. I was close.
That's good. That's pretty.
Close.
That's a good poll.
Yeah.
How much does Lady Rage come up? So I feel like Alabama's defense just reloads. It's almost like a game of Guess Who. They knock them out, they get drafted, they go on, and then there's just another game, and it's just reloaded, another staff of 11 badass defensive players. Yeah. Jalen Hurts didn't really wow me.
No, me neither.
I thought maybe he's going to make kind of the big leap this year. Let's see. Bo Scarborough, what's up, man? Not used. He's on my fantasy squad, on my top 25 fantasy squad.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
So, they just dominate again. You can't Saban. I don't even, as an Auburn fan, I don't even hate Alabama that much because it's so impressive to watch Nick Saban consistently be good for a decade at this level, arguably harder than any other time in college football history. If you think about it, you have more competition. You have 130 teams. So
yeah.
That means more competition towards middle of the pack all the way to the top. And he brought that program from nothing. And then an Alabama fan will talk to me, and then I'll rescind all of that. But just dominant. And I thought it would be close. I thought Tate for Florida State. I was like, this is their new Calvin Benjamin, just skinnier, not doughy. But not as good cheekbones. But at the same time, it's one of those things. I don't know what Florida State's doing. I don't think they could get their running game going. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a shaky. I don't trust a quarterback with a French last name. That's another thing. Mm-hmm. So that's my analysis. It's about Afro puffs and French last names.
You heard it here first.
47 on Alabama. I forget the guy's name, but that guy was just scary. I was like,
crazy,
that guy's a 20-year-old guy. He looks like he's been kicking ass he's like 45-year-old man. Mm-hmm. He looks like more of a man than both of us.
Yeah, we need to get a birth certificate on him. Donald Trump, get on his birth certificate.
What you got next? What's next game?
Our third game. So those are two of our big three.
Third game's tonight. Right?
Right. It hasn't even started. That's why we're saying you said at the top of the show, we should have maybe done this tomorrow because we can't even talk about the third game.
Well, look, we don't have a producer, so if you see me, if you're watching at home, I'm darting over here to look at a backup audio recording. I've got a third audio recording going on. We don't have a producer. I'm the de facto producer, and we kind of slacked each other yesterday and talked about it 4 minutes before we got on, but. The deal at this show is we're losing kind of that authentic college football conversation.
Yeah.
I like Solid Verbal. I used to give them shit a lot as a podcast, but they do what they do really well. That's their thing. They drop a lot of knowledge, and we're not the same, but I respect what they're doing because that's an authentic conversation for them.
Yeah.
If you're a Notre Dame fan, I feel like that's how you talk with other fan. Well, one of the guys is Notre Dame fan, and an Oregon fan is the other guy. But I would say this needs to be the conversation that we're just having. We're your buddies on the couch if we were watching it together, or in college, you just talk about football the next day on Sunday. You
Yeah.
know, so
Off the cuff, man.
yeah. But I mean, anything else you saw yesterday? Baker Mayfield fucking slaying it.
Yeah. Oh, well, obviously Saquon Barkley put in a pretty good first bid for his Heisman, candidacy. He did great.
He had 172 yards on 14 carries.
Yeah.
2 TDs. My number 1 overall pick. I got it. I got dad reflexes.
I thought it was gonna fall.
And then, shutting out Akron, not that big of a deal, sure, but you forget in your head you still think of Penn State as kind of a mid-tier area because they haven't been good for a while.
Well, last year they were close to getting the playoffs, real close.
And I mean, I forgot they were really good towards the end of last season.
Yeah,
and now they're setting themselves up to be.
They're a contender, man.
For sure.
McSorley is the real deal. Their quarterback is great. Got a great combo quarterback.
Good
and
Irish
running back.
bar name. Yeah.
Exactly.
Just open one up in a college town, McSorley. Just open it up in Happy Valley. All right, let's do. What else did I see? Ohio State Thursday night. I was really.
Oh, that was scary for Ohio State fans.
Kind of crazy. It's funny how some of these games they're really close. Everybody's kind of starting out slow. All the big guys are starting out slow with all these cupcake teams. And then, Mike Weber was out. That's Steve's boy. Mm-hmm. And freaking J.K. Dobbins, dude's a stud. Weber might not be the starter. I don't know. Did you watch? Were you able to watch the game?
I watched a little bit of it, but I will say that Ohio State's very similar to Alabama in that every year
reload.
They have a top 3 recruiting class. It's the same thing. It's like you go to their third backup, and that guy's like a 5-star, So
yeah, all right. What else did you see yesterday? Impressed you? Anything? Do you remember between?
I blacked it out, man. I was watching the
Jaeger
Florida
bombs?
game. No, I mean, if you want to, we can jump. Here's the other thing why we should have done
LSU
tomorrow, maybe.
got some shutout against the Mormons. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, guys had a good game.
Yeah.
Not impressed?
Not
Washington
impressed.
State, a lot of shutouts.
Yeah. We can talk about Washington State a little bit.
That was on so late. I got up at 5 or 6 to get over here so I could figure out all this tech stuff.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah, hey look, we got merch, man. We got merch.
Choose the least shitty shirt. No, I want to get some shirts with our little 8-bit icons on there. I think
for our listeners who aren't watching on Facebook Live, we have 3 shirts in the background that we got from 3 different companies. We're gonna order some podcast shirts and maybe give them away for people who engage with us on the social media.
Anything with the Lamar Jackson?
A little disappointing,
Louisville.
I think.
Louisville.
Yeah, he's not looking good for his repeat bid of the Heisman candidacy, but he'll bounce back. He can't match last year, his first 5 or 6 games when he had some ridiculous 40 touchdowns his first 5 or 6 games. He can't match that. But his last couple of games, he was on a little downslide and didn't do terrible, but they won. But same thing, a little slow start. So right now, I think Heisman-wise, right now, you got to say Saquon Barkley.
Sure, we can do Heisman. We don't have to.
Just your quick pick. Just your quick pick.
It. I like it, but a lot of people, I can't tell if listeners or viewers it's so early. But
right.
I do. I mean, Barkley, Mayfield.
Yeah,
sure.
Baker Mayfield and Saquon Barkley. We don't talk about
Lamar,
it, but just those 2 are in the running.
Lamar for sure.
Yeah.
Did you see his stats yesterday? They started out slow.
Right. What is it? 20? What was the final score? 24.
35-28.
35-28.
And then he was 30 for 46, 378, 2 TDs, and then he carried it 21 times for 107 yards.
Okay, well there you go.
I'd say that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I take it back.
not
I take it back. Maybe I just watched the first half and I kind of zoned out after that. But no, I take that back. That's a pretty good start.
This weekend, actually, if you're a 9-to-5er kind of position, it kind of messes with your brain a little bit because you're like, yeah, I got Sunday night off kind of thing. And so you're not paying it. I don't know. It gets you off kilter a little bit. So if we're a little off today, that's probably why. I'd say Kelly Bryant really impressed me at Clemson.
Talk about that.
Deshaun Watson's
big shoes to fill.
Yeah, it made me think about scrambling ability because I kind of watched a little bit of this game just to see what Kelly Bryant was about, and dude dude can scramble a lot better than Watson. And I was like, Watson was a pretty north-south kind of running to me.
Yeah.
Compared to Kelly Bryant, this guy might be better.
So I haven't seen the highlights. Is he shifty? Like, is he's one of these
more shifty, not the most, but I'd say like you're always going to compare the guy you just replaced, and so he, Watson, he made Watson look like a real north-south runner. How about that? Because I don't remember him getting shifty. What about USC almost shit in the bed pretty hard? Western Michigan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They have and I love that they have a blind long snapper.
Yeah, that's great. I saw that. That's crazy, man.
The best part about that, his picture has him with the glasses on.
I have not seen that picture.
His player profile picture, it's him with some shades on.
Nice.
But they're like, I wish they were blue blockers. It would kind of fit the motif, I guess. So nothing else, or are we moving on?
No, I think we should move, and that's almost a good segue.
Mason Rudolph.
You start talking about Clemson, so we can start talking about our big three next week.
All right, let's
and
do it.
this is spotlight all on you, Law, because this is what Clemson and Auburn, right?
Girthy. That's
a big game,
girthy
man.
game of the week. This one I probably won't answer my phone while the game's going on. That's the other thing is like I'm only really texting a few people during games this year. I'm not spreading it around. It's too taxing. That's me being an old man about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just too hard to kind of keep up conversations while trying to really pay attention. So I'd say, plus like, I'm going to come in here with you and Steve and talk about it for an hour anyway. Anybody can hear my thoughts if they want. So I'm trying to pull up that game right now. Okay. Yeah. At Clemson, not very excited about that. Auburn didn't look amazing, but I think knocked some rust off. It's good for, I'm going to butcher his name, Stidham, whatever you want to call him, Jared Stidham. Petway didn't play, your boy.
Oh yeah, was he injured? What?
They kept him out this first game. I hope it's not his hamstring or anything. I can't remember, but Kerryon Johnson's pretty good backup, I'd say. Had 136 yards at their game. And so it'll be interesting, man. We're going to miss Carl Lawson and Bryant on the defensive line for Auburn, and it'll be interesting to see because I bet it'll be crazy because both these quarterbacks, Bryant, that was his first start, I think, yesterday, and then Stidham, whatever his name is, I should know this as an Auburn fan. He balled at Baylor, but he just had his first start with this new Gus Malzahn system, new offensive coordinator, all that. So, and if we have Petway, that changes it up a lot. It'll be interesting. I'm excited. My buddy Kyle, who used to play college ball, he played at Clemson once, and he said it was the most redneck atmosphere he's ever been to.
Really?
Yeah.
Clemson?
It's in South Carolina, man.
I guess so.
In the interior of South Carolina. We're not talking about coastal. We're not talking about like Charleston, Good Times, Vineyard Vines, all everywhere.
You know what cracks me up, man? Just let me on SEC, our favorite thing to do is to call another, except for Vanderbilt, we call every other school the most redneck school. Like every other school will say, well,
we'll call them
obviously,
snowflakes.
yeah, exactly. Obviously, that's like a Florida fan be like, obviously Georgia's the most redneck, like backwards school, and then Georgia be like, obviously Florida, and then like everyone's like, no, Alabama's the most we just call each other rednecks. That's all we do.
I'm fair with it. Georgia, I've never had a bad time. You've got different blood against Georgia, but
I'm fine with Georgia.
I've never had a bad time in Athens. I've never had a bad time in Tuscaloosa. I hate Baton Rouge.
Me too. LSU has the worst. I'm sorry, LSU fans, but you've been terrible.
And my boy Hunter's probably listening. Look, hey, I love you, man, and I love your buddies that put me up, but I got dropped one time just for walking through a crowd.
Dropped, like punched?
Fucking shoulder checked into a truck. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a story for a different time because that'll take a while. But I'll save that for the Auburn LSU game. That'll be my rant beforehand.
That might unite all three of us, me, you, and Steve, like our hate for LSU, you know?
He probably likes him because he probably thinks he can get business out of LSU or something.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, we're going to hate on you, Steve. So 7 o'clock game, which means it's going to be crazier, drunker. As my buddy Kyle said, fucking people throwing batteries and shit. This is probably 10 years ago. Throwing batteries, just fucking hicks and stuff. It's probably different after you win a national championship because it's going to get a lot more of the students. the casual student fans in there, a lot more of the casual adult fans in there. So, it might be a little bit classier now. I'd say. What? So we gotta pick.
That's the problem.
We don't have the lines.
We don't have the lines yet. It's so early. We don't have the lines. So let me.
Clemson's probably favorite. They're number 5 as of this podcast. You know what we can do? We'll post it in the comments on YouTube and Facebook.
We're gonna pick it, and I have actually, and Steve's not here, but I think we should do a substitute.
Ooh.
This is a substitute Steve's conspiracy corner since he's not here to do it.
Go for it.
Okay, so here's my conspiracy. I'm gonna get in like the Steve, like I'm gonna get in the my voice is getting all low and secretive. So here's what I think a good conspiracy. So I think you guys like to say or Steve likes to say he only picks winners and he's like above it. He's above the spread, right?
It's the Sam Rothstein.
Yeah, he thinks he's above the spread. Like, I'm just gonna pick winners. Well, here is my conspiracy theory. I think Steve doesn't understand the spread.
Oh my!
He doesn't understand it, so he pretends to be above it, and that's why he doesn't pick against the spread. So Steve, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Wow.
Pick against the spread.
Wow.
There we go. That's a pretty big conspiracy theory, right?
Wow.
I know. Shots fired.
Yeah, I don't think he does. I don't know if he's a math guy.
I don't think he is. It's not hard to get, but
This is what you get for not being here.
Exactly.
Look,
Steve,
I'm scared now.
Shit all over you.
When we have our second kid, I'm going to be scared the weeks I'm out.
Yeah. This makes me not want to miss any podcasts. 'Cause
Right.
you guys, I can't imagine what you're going to say about me.
Incentive by fire. Yeah. I guess penalty. So, yeah, maybe he doesn't. I think that's a good way to get out of it. Just saying, you just steamroll every conversation about anything with a line. Just say, I only pick winners. Just steamroll that. That's like a Trump move. Almost.
It is. Yeah. It's a win-win for us because either one, he admits I don't know, or two, now he plays ball and he's gonna pick the spread to prove that he knows what it is. So it's a win-win for us.
We got to do a Trump move back to him. We got to put an adjective before we say his name, like crooked Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
We got to put like. Got to think of something.
Oh yeah, I put you on the spot here.
I was trying to think of like unmathematical, but that's not a word. We'll get to
That's
it.
so clumsy. I think we should do that.
So,
Unmathematical Steve.
Unmathematical Steve.
He's so clumsy. I love it.
Yeah, that works. Look, man, it's Sunday morning. We're a little rusty too. Clemson's probably favored.
Number 5.
I'd say by.
It's at Clemson, right?
Yeah, I'd probably
definitely.
say by 3.5. Probably, I'll guess it.
Yeah, probably. It's over 3 for sure.
I'm going to take Auburn no matter what. Blind faith. I have to do it.
You got to do it, man.
You're going to lose some of these bets just because this is why I don't bet on Auburn, because I would try to
you bet
talk
with your
myself
heart
into it.
and not with your head.
Allegedly, I don't bet. I don't know why I did that. All right, Oklahoma. Or what do you got? What do you think?
I'm picking Clemson. I mean, I got to pick Clemson.
When the lines come out like Tuesday, probably we'll.
Yeah.
It's called engagement, people, on social media. That's what we'll do. Shout out to a buddy of ours that said Steve sucks. So he's unmathematical.
Unmathematical Steve.
So Oklahoma at Ohio State.
That's the biggest one, right? Number 2, Ohio State.
This might be a better week
at Ohio State
than this week.
Overall, probably.
Week 2 is better than week 1.
I mean, obviously this week had like the biggest game ever, but you're right. This has bigger overall.
But I called it, man. I knew that was going to be like a kind of boring game.
It was.
FSU, Alabama, and that's how Alabama's like Floyd Mayweather, right? Because Floyd's the most boring guy to watch box because he's all about speed. He's going to wait you out.
Yep.
And he's big defensive, then he'll attack way late in the rounds. It's kind of what Alabama does.
Yep.
Alabama is exactly like Floyd Money Mayweather.
There you go.
You heard it here first. All right. So Oklahoma at Ohio State. What are you thinking? JT Barrett, to me, looks slow coming out, and then got back to
not impressed.
Last year's form, I'd say.
Yeah, it should be a good one. I mean, I don't know, Baker Mayfield. It's good for Heisman talk again, but I'm probably picking Ohio State to win this one. It's at Ohio State.
What do you think the line is? Probably 3?
Yeah, that one's going to be closer. That one's probably like 3. I bet you, 2.5, 3 probably.
I'd say it's probably 3.
But here's you got to think about Ohio State's fan base might be the most boisterous, annoying fan base in the United States. So they're gonna throw money at their team. So that's why it might get a little larger of a point spread.
All right,
but I still think they're gonna win.
I think just because of coaching in those big games, I think I think Ohio State's
Well, right, because Oklahoma, Bob Stoops retired, right?
Right,
And
he's making his shift over to Florida. That's the rumor.
really.
Well, he was a Florida guy.
He was, yeah. He was an assistant.
That's the rumor on the mean streets.
Well,
of,
how old is Stoops? He's old though, right? Was like in his 60s or no? I don't even know.
Simmons is old. No, he's not that old. He can't be in his. I don't think he's 60.
No, yeah, you're right.
I think he got success early. I want to say,
but he went out like he didn't get forced out. He retired. He's 56. So you think he's gonna replace McElwain? That's what you're thinking?
the Swamp Donkey could. I mean, that's the rumor. I saw some of my UF friends yesterday say, like, why don't we bring Spurrier in just as like a offensive coordinator consultant instead of just overall just telling everybody what to do? Why don't we just bring him in and like, why doesn't he just be OC? Florida fans don't have a lot of patience. So
it's hard to watch, man.
Anyway, Oklahoma, I think just because I think Urban in those big games is his record's amazing when he plays top 10 teams.
Yeah.
And then they looked great in that third, fourth quarter against Indiana. So I'll take Ohio. Actually, I think it might be close.
Well, it depends. We're making these picks, right? We don't know what the point spread is. For all we know, it's going to be 10 points.
We're guessing the lines. That's what Bill Simmons and Cousin Sal used to do.
Okay.
They'd try to predict the lines before they came out or before they saw them.
Okay.
So, but we don't gamble as much, so it's kind of tough for us to do. Third game, Stanford
USC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big one, too. Sam
Darnold
didn't look great
Nope.
yesterday.
Nope. Didn't look great.
I'm not super impressed by USC.
But I'm not super impressed by Stanford either. So
I actually am. I like what Stanford's putting down.
Yeah.
The tree. I give it up for the tree.
I love their mascot. They had a great mascot.
But Bryce Love filling in for that McCaffrey spot. The defense looks stout again. Offensive line looks good. Quarterback looks bleh, as usual. It's the Alabama kind of strategy.
Yep.
Except that they use a scat back kind of guy instead of a speedy scat back instead of more of a in between power guy.
Mm-hmm.
I like Stanford. I bet it's probably 7.
It's at USC.
Yeah, it's probably 6.5 USC.
Yeah,
I'm going to take.
That's a good guess.
I might take Stanford just straight up.
Wow.
I don't know if
You're pulling a Steve here. You're pulling a Steve here. You're picking winners.
Yeah, but this is like you can do it in the upset and it's fine.
Yeah, that's right.
But I'm saying I think this is where I believe this is where you can make the most money as like a professional gambler on college football because people adjust the ranking. They keep that ranking is a little bit artificial still, right? Mm-hmm. It's created by the AP or whatever. Usually people use the AP, but I'm saying it's an artificial ranking because it needs to shake itself out. Like week 5, I feel like the rankings.
Yeah, those preseason rankings mean almost nothing. A lot of times you have like a top 5 school that'll go 4-8.
Right. So I'm saying I feel like Stanford's probably underrated at 14.
Right.
This will get shifted tonight probably. What do they do it about Sunday nights?
Yeah,
6?
yeah, usually.
They're 14. USC's 4. I bet USC drops a little bit because they weren't that great.
But who's going to go ahead of them? You think they drop a spot or two? Because they won.
Clemson for sure.
I don't know. I think they might hold pat.
All right. What are your thoughts? Anything? Did you get to see these highlights yet?
No. Like we said, this is Sunday morning. And
no excuses.
Yeah,
play like a champion.
I was drafting my fantasy football draft last night, and I watched the Florida game and I watched the Florida State game, but I have not had a chance to do that that stellar research that I'm known for on this podcast. But yeah, so I don't know, man. I'm gonna probably choose USC because it's at home. Sam Darnold may have a better game. Can I say something real quick though? I mean, we got to give Steve some credit because he picks winners, but that means he picks the favorites. Basically, picks the favorites to cover every time. That's what he's basically doing every time. Right. And he beat us last year, so we got to give him some props. He did have the best record last year when we kept track of the big 3.
Sure, man. So
good for him. Yeah, it's good for him.
Any monkey can get lucky throwing darts at stocks on a newspaper. So, yeah, it's fine.
That's all my thoughts on that game.
He's gonna roast battle next week.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great next
Georgia
week.
and Notre Dame's interesting. Let's see. I don't have many thoughts. I think Brian Kelly's gonna get fired this year. I still believe.
Did Notre Dame play already?
I
don't know how they did.
I'm looking it up. Well, I try to only pay attention to the top 25 usually.
Yeah.
Weighted a lot more, I'd say. They played. They're 1-0.
Yeah, 49-16. They beat Temple. Looks like.
Well, Temple was competitive a year ago.
The past 2 years, I think they were 10-win seasons. The past 2 years, so they're decent.
I think that's it, man. We got to close it out. I think
Let's close
you're
it.
running out of steam.
Yeah, obviously. I'm sad about yesterday. But let me do my stat of the day, though. I didn't do a stat of the day last week. And
Okay.
I feel bad. We're letting the listeners down.
Okay.
Stat of the day is you probably heard it a lot. If you watch College Game Day, you probably heard it a lot. That now Alabama coach is now against his assistants is I think 11-0 against his assistants now. Now they beat Florida State. Now they beat Jimbo Fisher. So that's pretty amazing. Like if you're going against Alabama and you're a former assistant, then you're gonna lose. So not my greatest stat of the day, I would say. I mean, I built it up a lot.
No,
and
it's
then
interesting.
It kind of you're right. It
I
lost
was
steam.
trying to get a thought going about it because he's going to play Georgia. I was like, does Alabama play Georgia this year?
They mind that's
do
the
they
championship
play
game.
FAU.
Oh, let's talk about Lane Kiffin.
What about
and,
what happened?
They lost. FAU lost.
To who?
I forgot that. But we're united in our hate of Lane Kiffin. He's good for college football. I think he's like that. villain.
Yeah.
He's
I
like
like
the
that
heel.
Daniel Tosh hates on him too because he looks like him. Have you seen that? on
No,
Tosh
I have
1.0?
not seen that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate Lane Kiffin.
Oh, they lost to Navy.
Navy.
40.
Well, dude, Navy, they run the triple
But-
option. I mean, they're right.
That's
the
that should
namesake.
be our favorite team, right?
Yeah, but that's a really hard, like Georgia Tech, Navy, Air Force, they all run triple option, and it's really hard to kind of if you can't stop it like a little bit, you're kind of screwed,
Yeah.
especially on the edges. If you don't have guys on the edges that can contain, like you have that defensive end that crashes down, it's really hard to stop the triple option. So
42-12, by the way, that was a score. Navy beat FAU 42-12, or
wow.
19, 42-19.
still, you can't even read the scores.
No,
off the
I
board.
can't.
All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Fuck you, Steve.
Steve sucks.
Make sure to subscribe, rate, review on iTunes. We're on the Laughable app. We are on, go on our YouTube channel, subscribe. Do one of these things to help us out.
Please.
The idea of this show this year, our big mission is to see if we can sell this show to a bigger thing. Maybe Facebook's buying content, YouTube's buying content. Maybe we can get a little production value. You help us out. We'll figure out how to reinvest in the show and give it back to y'all that are part of this. We'll call it the Booster Club.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know?
Where can they follow us?
Follow us on
social
Twitter.
media.
3XO Pod is on Twitter, right? Instagram, I don't know if we have. What's your handle? Twitter.
Chad Sweeting.
Mine's
Real easy.
Lawsmith34. Fantetti's is Fantetti Inc., I want to say.
I think it's Fantetti Sucks.
Look, it's all
Fantetti Sucks.
it's all in the about section of our Twitter account.
There you go.
Triple Option Facebook page, Facebook /3XO Pod. And send us messages, send us some DMs slide us some DMs.
That's where it all goes down, I heard.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
If you want the joke of the week about alleged illegal ways to watch football games.
Yes, alleged.
For Chatham Law, peace.